Good afternoon, class. So today is 3rd of March and we will have to cover the current affairs of today. The first news is related to the Sri Lankan authorities, in which they have suggested that as India has been evicted from the Western Port Terminal, they have provided an alternative to it. So let us go to the history. I think previously, if you remember, there were a lot of uh, hue and cry that and a lot of displeasure shown by the Japanese authorities and also the Indian authorities. The Indian authorities rushed to Sri Lanka because of something that happened in Sri Lanka. Now, what was that particular thing? In the Western Container Terminal, India and Japan were holding 49% of the share that is directly allocated in the neighborhood of the Chinese controlled terminal, the eastern part of it. But now the Sri Lankan authorities have offered a new proposal to the India and Japan with the increased stake of 85%, and total costing of that particular new project would be 700 million. So basically what had happened earlier, the Sri Lankan authorities have done away with the 2019 deal that was between India and Sri Lanka. Apart from that, they have provided India and Japan with an alternative in which the stakes of 49% will be increased to 85%, but it had to be built up from the scratch. That is the Eastern Container Terminal that will need more money and more tenure to be completed. India and Japan have never commented on, till date, have not commented on this, the new proposal that the Sri Lankan authorities have given. But most of the people are saying is this as a part of a course correction, as there were domestic dissent to the giving away of the port to the Indian authorities in the Western Container Terminal. So the Sri Lankan authorities have decided that we will not go against the people who are on the port, and therefore another location has been allocated to the Indian authorities. The one peculiar thing about this particular thing that had happened is that the cabinet of the Sri Lanka have decided that they will allocate the project to the Indian authorities, and the Indian authorities, if they want to rope in any of the interested party, it is to them for to decide who will be the interested party who will be executing the port. Now that have made a type of a public outcry in Sri Lanka, because it is the jurisdiction of Sri Lanka. Ideally, Sri Lanka should decide who will be the party that will be allowed to basically make that particular project in the case of the Eastern Container Terminal. India and Japan have still not commented that whether they will be the part of the Eastern Container Terminal or not, but still they have kept mum on the issue, and still there are talks that the negotiations are still going, and we will have to see what will happen in the upcoming time. Okay. The next one is the center garner 77,815 crore out of the total estimation of 45,000 crore. That was the government expectation from the sale of spectrum. But let us talk about the major issue what have happened here. Now there are major telecom circles that are available within the country. In the telecom circles, there are certain spectrums that are allocated to certain companies. The revenue is generated, whichever revenue is generated for the sale of the spectrum, it is for the 20 years, and the revenue is going directly into the government of India's fund. So government of India have put out certain base prices for every spectrum. For example, when we talk about the premium 700 megahertz and 2500 megahertz, these are generally near perfect spectrums for the companies, and they can use it for telecommunication, 5G and all other factors. Now, most of the bids were not received for 700 and 2500 megahertz, but the other megahertz that were allocated were 488 megahertz, 355 megahertz has been allocated, and they have bought in totality the total number of frequencies they want to buy. Now, Vodafone was the least buyer and Reliance Jio was the highest buyer. So the license will be provided to them for the next 20 years, and after that again the spectrum license needed to either be renewed or either to be uh, fresh auctions will be conducted for that. So in that particular estimation, the actual government was hoping for a raising of approximately 3.92 lakh crore out of the sale of 2308 megahertz, but it was only able to basically sell around about 1000 megahertz, and approximately only 40% of the spectrum was sold and 60% of the spectrum was unsold. So that have actually led to a huge deficit in the government expected revenue that they were hoping. But in that 40%, they have realized, or the realization that the government was hoping for 45,000 crore, they have earned more than that. So that is 77,000 crore. So I hope this is clear. The next news is related to Back to the Future. Now, what is the Back to the Future deals with? This deals with the growth of the GDP, that is 0.4% in the third quarter that we are currently seeing. and probably it was going to be happening because October, November, and December were the third quarter. So we have a data in the month of the March by the first week of March as the quarter have ended. So after 45 days, we will actually get the data, and we have gotten the data in the same time. Now, please understand the demand of this particular part has not been unaware of the fact that whether the economy was going to grow or not, because we have already seen when the gradual reopening of the country started happening in the month of September, there were a lot of pent up and the festival demand that were coming through. They have actually led to the increase in the gross domestic product and also the increase in the gross value addition. The one sector that have been constant on the rise was agriculture sector. It have remained robust, and right now it have also provided a constant resurfacing of the resurfacing of the total activity in the agriculture sector. There are other sectors called as manufacturing and the construction sector. They have also made headways because the project and the government project have again started. Now, despite the push on infrastructure, defense, and public administration, there is no major growth as is seen on the government expenditure, and there are a lot of catch up needed to be done in the case of the public administration. We are not seeing very large incomes and very large prospects with respect to the growth in the economy, but still people believe that as the government is spending, the result of the government spending will be available only by the fourth quarter, because the government bureaucracy generally works in a slower manner. As the spendings by the central government is being done, they are done in the infrastructure sector and other sector, so it will basically take time to channelize that particular process into the real hands and also increase the production and all other factors of the economy or the consumption of the people in the longer run. Okay. Now, please understand, already I have told you, although this may look very high, but it is just the base effect because we are working from a particular base that is very low. So that's why it is looking higher. Otherwise, right now we have slipped by approximately, you can say minus 7.7%. That is the original estimates that the economic survey have also given, and the other people have also said that the Indian economy is going to decrease by minus 7.7%. So that will approximately give us 184 lakh crore rupees. That is the total estimation on the GDP at the current prices. So that is somewhere low as compared to the actual 202 crore. So whatever we were growing in the fiscal year 20, we are going to achieve the same amount of growth in the fiscal year 2022. So maybe the growth will look good, but it is not comparable because we have wasted approximately, you can simply assume that the 2 years has been wasted. The next one is reviving the Iran deal. Now, already we have talked enough about this, so I will not be going into detail. There are only two things that are needed to be understood here. That is the domestic conditions of Iran at home. Yesterday we have talked about a joint comprehensive plan of action and what are the options that are available to Mr. Joe Biden, how you should go with it, whether the European Union has been basically accommodative to the policies of the Iran, or whether Qatar and Kuwait can play a constructive role in basically bringing Iran to the negotiation table. But as we are seeing increasingly, the position of the hardliners in the Iran with itself has been changing, and they have passed a particular law that if the sanctions of the USA are not pulled out by the month of April, they will definitely go for the enrichment of the nuclear fuel and also will lead to the production of the nuclear weapons that may pose a threat to the whole of the stability in the Central Asian region. The possibility of Mr. Joe Biden in negotiating a deal is very high, although there are some other reasons that they have to look out for. Now, Saudi Arabia has been put under scrutiny, and Joe Biden have to balance the human rights issue of killing of the Jamal Khashoggi versus the strategic significance of Saudi Arabia in the Central Asian region. Saudi Arabia holds a bigger counter to the policies of the Iran. Now, we have also seen the increasing attacks in Syria. The attacks in Syria was generally on the supporters or the pro-Iran supporters, because Iran is also funding terrorism as said by USA in multiple countries, which have posed threat to the immediate neighbors or the immediate friendly nations or the immediate friends of United States of America, that is Israel, Saudi Arabia, and the other countries, for example, who are located on the sidelines. So that is currently happening. Now, the rebalancing ties with Saudi Arabia is a positive headway that is currently going. The willingness to join the JCPOA, Joe Biden wanted that more stricter clauses would be present or should be provided in the deal. But as the people have, or the hardliners at the Iran have said, the Rouhani government basically have to balance with the moderate attitude the things that they have promised with respect to the Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action, that they will completely abide by the Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action, provided no further changes with respect to any term of the clauses should be made by either of the territories. The European Union, as we already know, the three countries of Europe who are the permanent members of United Nations Security Council. One is UK, another one is France, and the third one is Germany. They have already started a particular program called as INSTEX. Now, this INSTEX was basically helping free trade agreement, or you can say a barter exchange with the European countries, in which the European basically was able to root out all the products to the nations of the Europe, or you can say all the nations of the Europe. So that have also backfired. Mr. Trump has applied the policy of maximum pressure, but as it is clear from the evidence and the history, the facts, that it was not able to bring Iran on the negotiating table, and right now there is some hope that Iran could be brought to the negotiation table and they could be held accountable to the Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action. But then a calibrative approach needed to be maintained on the USA part so that a negotiation could be concluded on both sides and both the parties could reach a particular agreement and completely abide by the policies that are mentioned in the treaty. The next one is the anatomy of spring ceasefire. Now, this is a ceasefire that was negotiated between India and Pakistan. Now, there are three issues that are needed to be answered regarding this. One is durability, significance, and implications. These are the three things that we have to talk about. When we talk about durability, what is the possibility that it is more durable as compared to the other ceasefire agreement? Because we had ceasefire agreement in 2015, we had ceasefire agreement in 2016, and after that the relations between the two nations has been deteriorating because of the large incursions that are happening across the borders and also the airstrikes that India have conducted on the across the LOC for the very first time in the history. Openly they have done it. Now please understand what are the issues here. Now there are high level statements that are being mentioned. First of all, why it is important or why it is durable or why it is significant, because the treaty was negotiated at the DGMO level, that is the Director General of Military Operations. They have negotiated this particular treaty, and that is a good headway with respect to the outstanding dialogues or the outstanding negotiations that India and Pakistan were currently having. Now, if we look at this from this perspective, please understand the ceasefire agreement 2003, why it is important. Now, to understand that, we will have to go back to the negotiations that happened. The first negotiation between India and Pakistan happened in the Karachi Agreement 1949 after the first India-Pakistan war, in which there is a UN created ceasefire line that was created, and in that particular part there was a UN military observer group and India and Pakistan that will negotiate that whether there is de-escalations of all the army officials present on the either side of the border. There are different treaty in that because there were three major points. I will not go into the three major points, or they are not mentioned in the article, but you should remember them. The first one is the terrorism need to be stopped. Pakistan need to vacate Pakistan occupied Kashmir, and then India will maintain a presence so that the law and order situation in the Kashmir could be controlled. Only then the plebiscite of the people of Kashmir would be valid. The Pakistan never withdrew its army from the Pakistan occupied Kashmir, and therefore there was no plebiscite that was in negotiations with respect to the United Nations military observer group in India and Pakistan. So these are representatives of United Nations who keep an vigil on the both sides of the situation, that whether the human rights are being upheld or whether they are being observed. Now, after that, in 1965, the ceasefire line remained enacted. The second war that happened, and then in 1971, when India was on the front foot, India asked Pakistan to sign the Shimla Agreement, which delineated the LOC. And the LOC is basically the ceasefire line that was later changed into LOC. And the one important thing in the Shimla Agreement was that every dispute between two nations would be solved bilaterally, and there is no room for the third party intervention. This was the major thing that Indira Gandhi have done. So right now we always say Pakistan to accommodate and to uphold the terms of the 1971 treaty, although Pakistan have maintained its position that they want to uphold the UN military observer group, and multiple times they have tried to raise the issue at the United Nations level, in which every time there are some friend nations or the friendly nations who have good relations with India in the United Nations Security Council, that this is a personal dispute of Pakistan and India, and there is a treaty under Shimla Agreement in which Pakistan and India both have agreed to resolve the dispute bilaterally without the interference of any foreign or any third party. Now, why this was needed? It was significant because right now there was a possibility and there was a type of a uneven easiness, not easiness, but uneven suspicion in India, or what we call that. People were not comfortable with the fact that India could be opening two fronts at the border. Now, as we have ceasefire line with the Pakistan, if the treaties are upheld, then there is a possibility that we can deploy our armies to the another border and contain China. So that is a welcome step. We will have to see what will happen over the time. Now, in 2003, the DGMO, the 1971 termination is important because we are going to uphold the same treaties and the same issues that we have agreed in 2003. And what are the way forward? We need to have the clear guidelines and the rules with respect to what needed not to be done, what kind of artilleries could be posted at the border, how much the shelling, and into how much kilometers from the LOC needed to be stopped, the construction of the permanent bunkers or non-permanent bunkers, when and where the vigil could be contained. These are some of the things we can agree about. So this is what he have suggested, and he have suggested that we should work in the form of the intent, as we have already shown the intent. So the rhetoric that is currently presented by the BJP government, that nationalism is what we can do, the talks and terrorism cannot go hand in hand, has been shown a mirror. And from the reality we can directly say that there is now an increased cooperation or going to be increased cooperation on the border front at the LOC with respect to the maintaining peace across the both side of LAC. So now if you see the parties who were in Jammu and Kashmir, they have welcomed the decision. This is the same thing they have been saying when the Article 370 has been removed, or when any kind of criminal activities or terrorist activities has happened in Kashmir. They have already proposed talks with Pakistan, which the mainstream party have always refused. So they were able to run the propaganda, but the international affairs are not run in the same manner as the BJP wants to run it. So I hope you can now discriminate that the parties in Jammu Kashmir were very true in demanding the negotiations with respect to the peace deal that was signed between the India and Pakistan at the DGMO level. The next news is related to the recalibration of the relation with the European Union. So this is supply chain and self-reliance as India is moving toward. There is a need of the value addition to the local chain so that the upgradation could be happening with respect to the development we want to do. Now, after that, there are India's export potential. If you look at the European Union and the Western Europe, they are currently at about $40 billion, and they probably include apparel, gems, jewelry, chemical, automobile, and pharma. When we talk about the generalized services of preferences, what is this generalized services of preferences? Under this particular clause, there are certain zero tariff items that are allowed by the developed countries in an extension to support the growth in the developing countries. So under this, India also sent approximately $7 billion of products to European Union, and they total GSP that India is using, almost 40% of these products are sent to European Union. Now, when we talk about this 40%, we have only trade with the European Union under the GSP, and there are other possibilities that we can look out for. For example, in 94%, we can talk about GSP direct trade to European Union. Then we can increase the sectors that are more important. There are other factors that are also needed to be considered. For example, Indian government is also promoting textile to the foreign European nations. But we have already seen that there are other countries who are at better position to us. For example, Bangladesh in the form of textile, and Vietnam in the form of olive oil and the palm oil. So these are some of the things that are happening there. Further moving on, engineering search policy launched by Karnataka. Karnataka have said that they want to basically accommodate all the engineering research of the total share in the country up to 45%. Per single state want to increase the research in the engineering project up to 45%. The key focus area they have targeted are aerospace, defense, auto components, biotechnology, and software. Now, apart from this, it is a 100 billion industry that is going to be in the next 5 years. There will be creation of approximately 50,000 R&D jobs that will be created, and there are other programs that are also started by the government. For example, quantum technology, there is a program called as Quest, which the government has been taking upfront, and they are also hopeful that they will be able to basically make these particular opportunities and will be able to make Karnataka as the research of the R&D hub in India, specifically related to the engineering products. The next news is related to Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha TV will now be merged under the banner of the Sansad TV. So Ravi Kapoor has been nominated. Kapoor has been nominated as the CEO, and the technical and the manpower adjustment will be there, and it has been recommended by Surya Prakash panel. So these are some of the things that they have said, and I hope this is clear. The next one is the Himalayan Zero spotted in Assam. It is spotted. Please understand, Himalayan Zero is somewhere between goat and antelope. So for the first time, they are observed in Assam, but the conservator of the forest over there have said that it is a high altitude dweller. And when we talk about these particular animals who are existing over there, they generally are located in the Manas National Park. They have been observed, and they generally come from the Royal Manas Bhutan National Park. So that is located in the neighborhood. So that is another thing that you should remember. Further moving on, the next news is equal to the national consensus government in the interest of Nepal and Thai. So these are the other parties who have been commenting on the current constitution crisis that is currently happening under the Nepal. Now, I hope you remember the government and the parliament has been restored by the Supreme Court of India. The Prime Minister is still who? KP Sharma Oli. Now, you can only remove one no confidence motion against the Prime Minister, and after that for 1 year you cannot move a no confidence motion. The Constitution of Nepal is not simpler as compared to the Indian Constitution. There are multiple clauses that are ensured for the stability of the government so that the government do not fall. Now, in the case of KP Sharma Oli, if a no confidence motion is moved today and it is defeated, then no confidence motion cannot be moved for another 1 year. No confidence motion can only be moved if there is a ready another stable government to be sweared in, and they have got enough majority in the house as they can take the reins of the power. Now that cannot also be possible. So now there are different changes that this particular Bhatta Rai have said. They said that Babu Rao Bhatta Rai basically have another party. Have said that they are very close to the Indian people, and we understand the policy or the friendship with the Indian people. KP Sharma Oli is highly tilted, or he was angered with respect to the Indian interference in the local elections. Already we have talked about it. Everybody would be angered with the interference that the countries want to do. So these are some of the things that were currently happening. But he says that there is a national consensus government. If India helps him, we will consider India as a true friend, have always considered, and it is also in the benefit of the India and Nepal also. The next one is the Khashoggi killings. US tells Saudi Arabia to take action. So human rights observers all around the world has been talking about putting sanctions on Saudi Arabia, who have basically authorized the killing of Jamal Khashoggi, who have been writing against Mohammed bin Salman. Now Mohammed bin Salman basically have said that he had no hand to play, and also the United States of America has been apprehended of the situation, that what is the situation at hand. Now Joe Biden, they belong to the rule of law and the Democratic Party. So they have been tasked with upholding Mohammed bin Salman with respect to the human rights violations that he have committed, specifically with respect to the journalist. Now, balancing the act between the two nations, they have asked Saudi Arabian government to basically conduct a impartial inquiry on all the things that have happened with respect to Jamal Khashoggi, in which 7 of the members who were involved in the torture and the killing and the dismemberment of the Jamal Khashoggi body were belonging to the private secretary or the private support team of the Mohammed bin Salman. Now, there have been increasing reforms that they are seeking, and they are hoping that the defense of the Saudi Arabian crown will not, the Saudi Arabian coin will not involve in that, and there will be reforms with respect to the human rights, with respect to the rights of the journalist, and with respect to the international organization scrutiny and availability of the upholding of the rule of law. So these were some of the things that they have said. The next one is the export dip 0.25% after rising for 2 months and imports grow by 7%. So there is a deficit that is currently rising. We are seeing the merchandise export that have slipped. So 26.67 billion is the total exports and 7% is the increase in the imports, current about 40.55 billion. There is a deficit of approximately 25.18 billion that is currently we are seeing, highly skewed in the favor of India. Large amount of deficit is currently occurring, and there are hefty premiums for routing empty containers to China have hit availability. Okay, so these are some of the things that they have told about. The next one is the private investment missing notes RBI article. So RBI have written an article in which they have said that all the animal spirits of the economy need to be firing at the same place, otherwise there will be no results of the government mandate or the lowering interest rates in the economy. We have already seen that the private sector is not performing equivalently to the government push. They are not taking loans and they are not investing in the Indian economy. There is a need to create a accommodative environment. Multiple times the government have asked the private sector to basically invest in India directly and indirectly, so the economy can be pushed, and if the economy can be pushed, there could be further increase with respect to the total economic activity in the country. Now they have said over the last 3 months, we have seen or we are seeing that the businesses are not operating in the manner, or the loans are not taken by them in the manner in the way they should be. So these are some of the things that they have talked about, and there is a need to basically ask the private sector to start performing. Okay, I hope this is clear. Okay, so I think that is it. फिर कल मिलते हैं.